for coming by. I want to talk just a little bit about some of the things that are going on here at Clemson as it relates to our athletic department. Then I'll be happy to take any of your questions. We are moving forward with a number of our facility initiatives, some of which right now, although with today's weather, probably not a lot of work being done on our baseball facility, but that project is moving along on time. We will be set to open some new ground level box seats for this baseball season, and then during the season we'll be able to move into the down the right field line player development area, locker rooms, coaches' offices, meeting areas, all along that side. So that project is moving along well. At the end of this football season, we'll have two projects going on here in Memorial Stadium. Number one, we will be building out the west end zone with the Oculus feature that was always kind of planned for this building, but that feature will have a little bit of a twist to it, a little practical twist. It'll have a bridge inside of it that will be able to allow fans from the north side of the stadium to traverse very easily to the south end. And one of the things that we wanted to do as we were putting this project together is have a practical application for it, because while it's a nice architectural feature, that was not something that was foremost in our mind. We wanted to make sure that if you park up in the parking lot 6, 10 area over here to the right, that no longer do you have to walk down a hill, to walk up a hill, to walk up some stairs to get to the lower north area, if that happens to be where your seats are. So now you'll be able to come into gate 13, walk through the bridge, through the Oculus, and make your way over to the north end of the stadium. The other project that we're going to be working on at the same time, we're going to be redoing all of our suites on the north side of the stadium, as well as creating a sideline club area associated with the south end of the stadium, as well as redoing suites on that side of the stadium as well. We're going to be enclosing the concourses for all of those suites, so that right now you walk outside the door of a suite, you're in open air. We'll be enclosing that concourse area so that it'll have more of a hotel rather than a motel feel for those suites. So that's another project that'll be going on at that time. Come May, everything is on time and progressing very well with our Littlejohn renovation project. That is, as I said, slated to begin in May. We're working with the architects and the contractors right now on that particular facility. And then we're going to be beginning the process of looking at our football operations center, which will be located in the Jervey Meadows area adjacent to the indoor facility, so that when that facility is complete, the entire football operations area will move there, so our student athletes and coaches will be together, their offices, their weight room, training room, indoor practice facility, and practice area all in one area of our department. Just a quick update on some things going on this fall. Our women's soccer program is ranked 18th, doing incredibly well. Very happy for Coach Eddie and his young women. Our men's soccer program has an RPI of 30. They're sitting at 500 right now. Tonight's game against Coastal Carolina has been postponed because of the weather, but they're right in the thick of things as it relates to the ACC race, as is our women's volleyball program. Again, they had a couple of big wins this weekend and are in the thick of the ACC race. That's probably the stuff that I had for y'all. So any questions that you have, I'll be happy to answer.
What's a typical week been like for your college football playoff research and watching and discussions and all that?
Well, I think that it kind of breaks up into a few different segments. Number one, the technology that we have through the issued material that has come to us from the college football playoff allows us to watch games not just on Saturday, but to be able to throughout the week catch games, whether it's the broadcast version or the offense-defense kicking game coach's version. So on some games I'll watch the offense-defense kicking game. That may be easier to get through a game. Sometimes it's the television broadcast, but all the conferences and all the teams inside those conferences are available for us to be able to watch. So in any given week, I'll watch 9 to 10 different games or parts of games during the week. And then as the season has rolled on, been able to utilize the analytics that are being pulled together for us by Sports Source Analytics of Atlanta, Georgia, to be able to make sense of some key statistics that will help supplement what you see visually as it relates to the game. So it's been, I would probably say anywhere from 12 to 15 hours a week right now. It'll be interesting once we hit the end of October, where we then go to Dallas Monday morning, begin our meetings at 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon, and run those meetings till 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and at which time, when those meetings are complete, the top 25 poll from the college football playoff will be announced.
Can you guess on how many games you're watching a week?
I think 9 to 10 games a week.
Specifically, what are some of those analytics that you mentioned that you're looking at?
Well, just about right now, I am in the process of paring down which analytics I think are most important, because quite honestly, there are probably 1,000 statistics that are out there that are gathered by this group, and you can't use all 1,000. So you really need to be able to look at those and find out which ones you think mean the most as it relates to how you're going to move forward and make your decisions. So each one of the committee members may look at that a little differently.
What has the NCAA or the playoff told you about talking in public, if fans and friends ask you about, hey, what do you think of Alabama or Oklahoma? What have they told you?
Well, I think we've had some really great media training with Ari Fleischer, who is the PR consultant for the college football playoff. Ari's been in a lot more stressful situations than the college football playoff, to be quite honest, and has been really good for us, especially the 5 sitting athletic directors, because they know that we need to do things like this. And to talk about not only our roles as athletic directors, but our involvement in the college football playoff. So we're very process oriented at this point in time, and we're very cognizant of the fact not to talk about individual teams.
Can you say roughly how many teams are in the mix for you right now?
No, can't, because I don't know. I mean, it's not that I can't tell you. That it's just at this point in time, at this part of October, there's still a pretty wide swath.
A Clemson fan would want to know, is Clemson still in the mix? Obviously, we can't talk about it.
And I won't talk about individual teams.
Are you extra careful with Clemson just because of the recusal policy?
Well, the recusal policy kind of takes care of myself and Clemson when it gets down to things that would matter.
And how long does it take you to watch a game? One game?
They have broadcasts broken down to about an hour. The commercials are taken out, and a lot of the hyperbole between things are taken out. So you can sit down and watch a game and get a good feel for it in about an hour.
Have you talked to any basketball community people about I mean, it's 68, not 4, but is that good counsel?
I have. And just talking about the preparation, I think the most important thing that all 13 of us have to do is just come to that meeting prepared, not only with your group of 25 or so teams, but to be able to say, okay, here's what I'm thinking. This is what I've seen. This is why I feel like these people or these particular teams are most deserving. And that's what we're going to fine tune over the next 2 weeks in preparation for that meeting.
When you say your group of 25 to 30, that would be the teams
that I would have with me, and then the way it works is, and you guys have probably read about the media, and that had their mock exercise. They came through with their 25 teams, and then the other goes around the panel, and those teams that get a requisite number of votes. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure it's on the college football playoff website that know how many votes you need to have to move forward. Those teams that have that requisite number of votes will move forward and be part of the group that will then be looked at to make the final top 25.
Something that's happening with some fairly high-profile teams right now are losing some of their better players the end, if those players aren't there, would that impact, even if they've continued to have success on the field, would that impact whether or not?
I think there's a lot of factors. Certainly who is playing is a factor. I don't know that it's a sole factor, but it is a factor as to whether or not they are the best 4 teams at the end of the year. So if you use that as the parameter, are these the best 4 teams? Certainly personnel is a part of that equation.
You think the SEC or a conference like the SEC is preferential?
No.
Do you think those? You just think they're that good?
I didn't say they were that good. They're a good conference, and there's a lot of good conferences out there and a lot of good teams within other conferences. We're not picking the best 4 conferences to play in the championship. We're picking the best 4 teams. So regardless of their zip code, those are the 4 teams that we're looking to move forward into the playoff.
Could you send those hour-long games directly to my DVR?
Yeah, we make sure that happens. I don't have my laptop with me now. I'll show you how it works.
Going back to the construction, if you don't mind, is that one of the things where you'll actually start the construction the Monday after the Clemson South Carolina game, or will it wait? And then when do you see this project being completed?
Both of the projects at Memorial Stadium will be completed or slated to be complete prior to the 2015 season. Now, the projects will start in different areas. There has to be some demolition done, as we redo the suites in the club seat area, some mobilization here for this one. So weather and a number of other factors will come into play, but both our architects and contractors on each of these projects have created the timeline so that these projects are done prior to next football season.
While it may seem self-serving, will the press box be affected?
There will be some changes in the press box, yes.
In location?
Actually, when I can address that offline.
The women's soccer.
Yes.
I understand you can't comment specifically on the lawsuit itself, but was it looked into, just the coach-player conduct allegations or anything like that?
That whole circumstance happened prior to my arrival here, but I will tell you that we have education and learning opportunities for our coaches and student athletes ongoing on that subject and others. So we are constantly reminding our coaches and our student athletes of the right types of behavior that they need to exhibit to be a Division I student athlete and to be a Division I head coach.
It sounds like there's not much concern in that specific case with Coach Wiglinski.
I don't know all the details of the case, to be real honest, so I probably shouldn't comment.
Another question, do you know if the university will be involved with former student athletes' protection at all, legally, supportively?
Again, that's a legal question that I'd be way out over my skis answering that.
Report at the end of the year, the Hardee's Trophy is being retired and something new could come up this year after the rivalry game. Can you speak to that at all?
I can only speak. Is Phil here today?
He is not.
Okay, I got a note from Phil yesterday with an idea on a different trophy, which is nice, and I think that I owe him an email back. So Phil, if you're listening, I'll send you an email.
He'll get it.
But it does sound like it has some legs. We actually had a student-led initiative between both the student government at Carolina and the student government at Clemson to talk about some type of a different trophy. I don't know where that is right now, but certainly there's some talk about that, and we'll give it due consideration for sure. It's a great game, and it deserves a great trophy. Okay?